I wouldn't say that I'm addicted to doing graphs. I could quit at any time if I wanted. Well, I've been a nerd for as long as I can remember. So actually, I think grade 11, I had a maths teacher who was really charismatic and passionate about maths. And that just got me passionate about maths. And so I think that set me on a path towards science, and then I went into a science degree a few years later. I think I became a science communicator when I began skeptical science. And so that went from something I was doing for myself to providing a resource for other people. The reason why I started skeptical science actually began when I began getting into arguments with my father-in-law about climate change. And so we would have family get-togethers, he would start throwing all these myths at me, and then I'd go home and start researching the myths. Was there any substance to them? And what I found was there was very little actual science to do with them. And so, like any son-in-law who wants to kick his father-in-law's butt at the next family get-together, I decided not to leave anything to chance, and I started building a database of all the different possible myths that he might throw at me and collecting the peer-reviewed science on each one. I guess the point of no return was when I started getting into arguments on the internet. And it's a bit like that XKCD cartoon where the wife's saying, "Are you coming to bed?" and the guy's on the computer saying, "No, someone's wrong on the internet." It was a bit like that. And so I continued to build this resource for myself. There was nowhere out there that was looking at myths and providing peer-reviewed science relevant to each myth. And eventually I had a light bulb moment when I thought, well, maybe other people might find this a useful resource as well. And I published it as a website. The whole purpose of what I'm doing is to make impact, to raise literacy, to remove misconceptions and help people understand the realities of climate change. Because, well, I mean, at the fundamental level, democracy needs a well-informed public to function well. So to achieve that impact, what I find most satisfying is when other third parties use the content that we create and then spread that to an audience that we never would otherwise reach, and to types of people that wouldn't normally go to the Skeptical Science website. So when scientists and communicators and educators and teachers start using our content, using our graphs and the material from our website in the classroom or in talks or in books or even on TV, then it's kind of frustrating in a way because we don't know what's going on out there in terms of the full extent, but when we do learn about it, it's quite satisfying. I think about how we look back at times like when slavery was socially accepted, and we look back at the people in those times and mystified. We think, why would people tolerate this kind of thing? And I think future generations are going to look back at now with that same level of perplexity. They're going to think, there was this scientific consensus. The whole global community of scientists were telling the world, this is an issue, climate change is happening, we're causing it, and we need to do something about it. And the public didn't listen to the scientists, and they didn't do the action that we needed quickly enough. I don't think they're going to look too favourably upon our generation and our ability to deal with this issue. So I guess I get frustrated about the misinformation that is confusing people, the disinformation where there's actual certain individuals that are intentionally misleading people, and that all the noise has created this environment where the public aren't pushing our leaders to push society forward. Firstly, I love science. I love numbers. I love graphs. I love communicating. Long before I was doing science communication, I was involved in graphic design and doing cartoons and telling stories and entertaining people. And I guess through years of doing cartooning, what I learnt was the ability to tell a story in a very short, concise, pithy way, the way to structure a cartoon where you take people in one direction and then suddenly take them in an unexpected direction at the end. Just all the, I guess, these communication techniques to engage people. And so I guess what I love about science communication is applying all the different skills that I accrued over the years on an issue that really matters, that has big consequences for the public.